Water, it really is the lifeline of any city. I think if you do not have water, I think you will have, deterioration in economic growth. Not only that, you will have problems in the environment because polluted water will, spoil the environment of a city. Singapore is a water challenged country. We are an island city-state. Although we get a lot of rain, we don't have the land to collect that rain and store it in reservoirs. So we have had to buy water from Malaysia. So for us, the challenge is how do we find enough water to sustain Singapore's continued economic and population growth way into the future. So our solution really is to take a holistic and integrated approach to water management, looking at both the supply side as well as the demand side. On the supply side, we invest in research, in technology, in managing water in an integrated way, and so we have been able to develop, three alternative sources of water. One is we get a lot of rainfall, so we try and harvest as much of that rain as we can. So 2/3 of Singapore is a water catchment, right? And that includes the rain that falls in the heart of the city. It flows into a reservoir called the Marina Reservoir. So today we have 17 reservoirs in Singapore. Singapore is probably the only city in the world where we have urban stormwater harvesting on that kind of a scale. Secondly, we recycle our water. We produce a product using reverse osmosis membrane technology. We call it New Water. So 30% of the water in Singapore is recycled. And then thirdly, because we're an island, we take water from the sea and we desalinate it, again using technology. But desalination is more energy intensive, so we are undertaking a lot of research to try and reduce the amount of energy required for desalination. Most cities face the same challenges in water. There's domestic consumption, there's industrial consumption, and I think the approach that Singapore takes in trying to manage the land use, the environment, the pollution, I think these are generic approaches that cities can take, right? Cleaning up the rivers, because if you separate the stormwater from the sewage, you make sure your stormwater is clean. The sewage, if you collect it centrally, you can then recycle it. It's a very simple approach, but it requires good policies, good integrated management among different agencies. But beyond the supply, you also got to manage the demand side. Particularly, you got to make sure that the clean water is not lost on the way to the consumer. So unaccounted for water is very high in many cities. I heard in Peru it's about 30%. In Singapore, we managed that and reduced it to less than 5%.